some updates, kinda, on the Epstein files. We got them all. We got the Epstein. No, I'm kidding. We didn't get them all. But here's a clip from Kash Patel testifying in front of the Senate. Kash Patel, the FBI head, in front of Senator John Kennedy. No relation. Go ahead.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Reid.
Now, Kash Patel has been one of the people screaming from the mountaintop for the longest time that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, and the head of the FBI has the files on his desk, and he's going to be able to release these right away. And day one, you're going to get these files. I criticized him for that before he even got the job. You can go back and check the tapes. I said that's irresponsible for him to say that. He should know that on day one, when he walks in there, not only is he going, well, I mean, first off, you alerted the enemy, the deep state, as to what you were doing. You gave them plenty of time to cover their tracks, blot stuff out, destroy documents, scatter all the papers everywhere. So you were going to be walking into a mess. Also, there's a lot of victims on there. There's a lot of minor victims on there that likely don't want their identities exposed and their lives ruined. You're going to have to omit all those names. There's thousands of documents you're going to have to go through and make sure it was totally unrealistic to get it on day one. But he said it over and over and over again. Well, we're way past day one, Kash. Where are the files? Why is it, more importantly, why has your demeanor changed so much? Check out this video of him on Fox News, him and Dan Bongino, the associate head of the FBI. Check out what they said on this when they were pressed on it.
Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to get, I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I mean, Mia, is it just me, or do those two look like they're in a hostage tape when they're talking about that? Like there's someone off camera pointing a gun at them, telling them, you better fucking say it. Say the fucking line. Say the fucking line. They look so nervous, so uncomfortable. And those, listen, Bongino hosts a podcast. He's on the air more than I am. That guy should have no problem talking comfortably in front of a camera. And we'll play a clip from him in a minute talking about something else. Here's a before and after of Bongino on the Epstein files. Look at the demeanor here.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this.
It's 23.
Catherine Rumler, I want you, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to get, I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I mean, it's just totally different demeanor. 2 years ago, he's talking about this thing, ready to burn the whole city to the ground to figure out what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Now he swallows his tongue. I mean, he just looks like all of a sudden, this guy who's on air several hours a day, daily, throughout the week, forgets how to talk in front of a camera. Here's Bongino in the same interview. They're talking about this Operation Restore Justice they have, which I've been critical of a lot of the things Patel's done. They've done a good job with this. They've arrested over 200 pedophiles. They've rescued over 100 kids. They've gotten child pornographers, sex traffickers, just the worst of the worst, repeat offenders, sex offenders, and they've locked these people up. They've done a good job at this. Credit where it's due. But check this video out. You can see the different demeanor he has in the same exact interview on Fox News where he's asked about this restore justice, and then go and compare that to how he sounded in the Epstein thing, the levels of comfort when he's talking about it. Go ahead.
But you said if you're hurting a child, taking away a child's innocence, we're coming for you.
Yeah, with that knock at the door, it's on Amazon. That's going to be us. This is a huge job. And Maria, not only does it destroy innocence, I said to everyone in the room, say week 2 or 3, when Kash and I put Restoring Justice together to go get these mutts off the street, these kiddie pornographers and these animals, right? I said to everyone in the room, I said, you know why this is going to matter to America? Because everyone in the room is a child or a parent, right? There's no immaculate conceptions here, right? I love Jesus, but there's no one in the room, right? I said, this matters. And not only that, it creates generational crime, because abused kids then become abusers in a lot of these cases. I said, we have a chance right now. I said, we got to go make their lives painful, these bad guys. And we went and we locked up in a month, 400? We saved 115 kids. And you haven't even seen the beginning, because those 400, a lot of them are talking. And when you log onto that network next, you have no idea what we're doing. You think you're safe in your dark web? I promise you are absolutely not safe. You have no idea what we can do.
Whole lot more animated talking about that. And again, I don't have a problem with that. That's the stuff I want the FBI doing, not terrorizing political opponents. But I'm using that. I'm not criticizing what he's saying in that video. I'm using that so you guys can compare his demeanor change in the same interview. The same interview. Which leads us to ask the question, what do these guys know? Why are they so uncomfortable talking about this all of the sudden? Something that both of them, you can go back and check the tapes, prior to assuming their office, had a whole lot to say about, with a whole lot different tone. I don't believe that they got in there and saw that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. If he did, show us the proof. You guys just keep saying, believe me, believe me, believe me. You haven't given us a whole lot of reasons to believe you. Not just you, the FBI and the shadow government, the deep state, the intelligence agencies, whatever you want to call them, as a whole, haven't really done a whole lot to earn the American people's trust. So what did you see when you went in there? I don't think they've been compromised. Which means they saw something. When I say I don't think they've been compromised, I don't think they have dirt on these guys, doing some pedophile stuff on Epstein's. I saw theories about that floating around. I think that's just as ridiculous. I wonder what's going on here. I wonder, did they get in there with the intention? Because these are bona fide anti-establishment guys. These guys aren't like the guys Trump appointed in his first term as office. Kash Patel ruined his career going against the grain in the intelligence agencies, only to be reanimated when Trump took office. So these aren't jokes, right? These aren't empty suits that came in here promising to do all these things and then just decided, we lied to everyone. We're going to keep up the status quo. My guess is they saw something. I don't know if it's the Mossad connection. I don't know if they got in there and they're like talking all this big game and then got sat down on day one and said, hey, we can throw people a bone and release some of the details on this Epstein stuff. We cannot release that list. We cannot reveal who's on those tapes. Well, what do you mean? Well, why can't we do that? Because there's a lot of people out there in the world leaders, business leaders, military figures, political figures, that we have dirt on here in the United States, enough to ruin their lives, get them sent to prison, end their careers, sued into bankruptcy. And that list and that evidence against them is a bargaining chip for the United States internationally, and maybe even here at home. That's what I'm wondering. Has the FBI, has the CIA, have the deep state intelligence agencies compromised the Epstein list for themselves to use to blackmail people? Did they get a hold of that evidence, of that list from Jeffrey Epstein, and use it to blackmail people, both foreign and domestic? Did they say, hey, we're going to lose a whole lot of leverage internationally that we have all over the world if that list gets out? Why don't you just shut up and throw people a bone? The problem is this isn't something people are willing to forget. I told you, the day of the 5-minute news cycle where we just forget about things are over. Yes, the stories change quickly, but things like that, and politicians are finally being held accountable to the things they promised. People aren't letting these things go. The day and age where politicians, both elected officials or appointed, can come in making all these wild promises and not deliver on any of them are over. You don't get to do that anymore. You're going to be held accountable. We're going to hold your feet to the fire on everything because we have receipts, thanks to the internet, of everything. In real time, I can pull up videos of Kash Patel and Glenn Beck saying things like this.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic school. We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game. That's why you don't have a Black Book. Or the manifesto.
But the Black Book, it's not just sitting, I mean, that's Hoover power times 10.
And to me, that's a thing I think President Trump should run on. On day one, roll out the Black Book. And not just that. On day one, roll out all of the text messaging communications we were told were deleted. On day one, play the rest of the video of the pipe bomber. On day, one of the reforms I talk about in government gangsters is you need a central node to be continuously declassifying. This is another thing they do. They overclassify. And I'm telling you, as the former number 2 in the IC, they overclassify 50% of the stuff there to protect the deep state. Oh, no, you can't see that. Nothing to see here. Gina was a master at it, of doing it. And we still haven't seen half of the Russiagate report that we wrote. Still under lock and key. On how the ICA was originally constructed. We put 10,000 man hours against John Brennan's team that did it. And we found out why they came up with their bogus conclusion. But we couldn't sell it to the world because we couldn't talk about it. And the government gangsters came in and buried it. All of these things, there needs to be a continuing central power, whether it's the White House or offsite, that says every request that comes in, just right out the door, as long as it's not a major threat to national security.
I said it's under direct control, and they'll have it out day one. What were you going to say?
They look like they're sitting in a furniture store.
I know that setup does really look like an IKEA or something, Nebraska Furniture Mart or something like that. But she said day one. Day one, it's on the director of the FBI, has total control. Day one, release it. We're way past day 100. Still nothing. Are they in over their heads? Was it easier said than done? Did somebody get to them? Did they realize that the people couldn't handle the truth? Or did they realize that some of their friends were on the list? Did they realize that it was a foreign asset for the United States government? Was it some combination of all those things? I don't know. All we can do is speculate. Drop a comment on YouTube or Rumble what you think it was. And here's the thing that's the most frustrating about this. I talked about that Operation Restoring Justice, which is a great thing. We had a guy in Omaha recently who came on to a nonprofit. And he went on a rant in the middle of this seminar at this nonprofit, at this conference, I guess you could call it. And he started going on a rant about how, under Trump, Clinton, Obama, Bush, they got all the resources they need to combat human trafficking, and the Biden administration totally tossed them to the side. And that's something that people should be outraged about, absolutely. But then And then Trump comes back, and we're actually getting some movement on it. They're arresting hundreds of human traffickers. The disappointing part about this, though, is it shows you that institutional change within the FBI is possible. And it's possible to make that change quickly. Because overnight, seemingly, you saw a concerted effort to undo past policies of the previous administration that basically just shrugged its shoulders at human trafficking and pretended it didn't exist, and target these scumbags so they can make change. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, the folks within this administration, they have it in them, and they have the desire in them to go in and make prompt changes. They can accomplish things, and they can accomplish them relatively quickly. Yet they continue to drag their feet, circle the wagons, and give us the runaround on this Epstein list thing. Something stinks, guys. They can get shit done. They're choosing not to get this done. I don't know. Stay vigilant on it. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.